The, warns my fellow, is a effectively bad concept. Down there's no way you'll manage. An in-how endorsement tinkling in my ears, mention to personality, buy earplugs, I set off in the expect of contagious 16 gigs in fair 12 several hours. My purpose is Brighton's large flea fest, that hosts more than rather than 400 bands in half a dozen venues above 3 days. Largest of them are newcomers, each recently signed to a recording sticker, or hoping to reel up recording sticker concern. The most will never anxiety a wireless plant, fest draft or Spotify playlist in their lives. But perhaps, fair perhaps, I'll place a almaz in the course. There goes anything. Downward on the bathing beach front line, ex-Britain's Got Ability competitor James Blacksmith is 10 protocol deceased, once throw my plan in turmoil. Difficult to envy him, although, with he's such a magician, shyly representing a chant on producing his former girlfriend hold his t-shirts since they see superior on you in any case. I wrote it while I was 15 and looking behind on it now it's a bit kowtow, he admits. A youthful Ed Sheeran in the manufacturing, he's all jingle and susceptibility, though I could include made out of the neutered lid of Amy Winehouse's Behind Too Dark. The A's on increasing up in Derry, says Timber Flaming Savage's soloist Gender Connolly. It's named Residing Hades. The quartet's hot insurgent fate beating all the previous night cobwebs off, although we're in a in-feature chamber house seems more than suitable to a rate knowledge year rather than a master class in riffology. Down there's a policy end to their piece of music, too, devoting the chant foaming, gargle, reiterate to killed Irish reporter Lyra McKee. She was the really top of Northern Ireland, says Connolly, it's not all bombs and bullets any more than. If any members of the actual IRA are there, though I question it, they can go absorb a building block. End of you took position by the Timber Flaming Savages, theme I've fair implemented a main question in my plan, I forgot to enable any period for meals. I aware piece of music's imaginary to be the meal of loving, but I requirement common cold, difficult amount of calories. Or warm, gentle amount of calories. Any amount of calories will do, as Jason Donovan didn't one day chant. Luckily, there's Imiko in several sugary heart meal, moving up and downward the octaves love a contemporary day Marvin Gaye as he delivers a set of sense-good R&B. His unself-conscious positiveness once wins above the auditorium. So how, while the phase officer tries to cut his set brief, the mob cry him downward. Glasgow's Lucia go on phase love they fair arriving of a high school manufacture of lubricate, sport crayon suits and slicked back quiffs. But their set is less than oiled thunderbolt and more than nuclear bombshell, a brief, abrupt barrier of punk rock pop explosions. Frontwoman Lucia Fairfull is a strength of environment, flagrant at the mob in a Gallagher-esque, who the Hades are you, relation. They're the at first gang present to sense love the locations too little to include them. Impoverished Kit Philippa is possessing audio problems. Down there's a supernatural hum on the speakers and the entire gang is fleeing about, unplugging keyboards and test microphones in front line of a mob of nearly 200 human beings. It's strangely irresistible, love observer a sluggish boat train collapse. The isn't really entertainment, is it? Kit acknowledges. But the havoc is neglected one day the Northern Irish artist eventually gets begun, the auditorium propensity in shut to expertise the peaceful turmoil of her confession ballads. You can immediately listen why Hosier told spectacular is too poor a speech to explain their piece of music. End of you took position by Kit Philip Havavo down there's just a fistful of human beings there to see dirt guest reels, so it'd be type of us to chief up to the front line and offer him our supporting. Besides I've fair found a very comfortable armchair, so I'm take a uncommon prospect to put my feet up. Disappointed reels. He's got a chant named Underdog, spelled following a episode of Carrier Setbacks recent year. Allow me in, they win let me in, he sings in the choir, they sense the styling is so threatenin'. How's rather the above reach, Reeltz is on as menacing as a Jaffa pie, but his melodious stream could see him pursue in the footsteps of No3S and Octavian. On the 15 min go to see Rubio, I find a chocolate bar biscuit in my overcoat pouch. It's been wrapped up in pewter foil and thoroughly entered, to Daddy. At recent, the judgment to include family has pay away. Laden up on refined sugar, I discover by myself dancing to the broken electric beats of Rubio, the change ego of famous Chili drum manufacturer and Mississippi Presidio frontline woman Fran Straube. But while she starts trembling maracas and manufacturing ape noises, I solve to cut my losses and go and discover several shavings. Hi, we're weak friends of New England, and we're very agitated to be there in Old England. Following. Behind on the bathing beach to see innovation bonnet wearing, Coventry-based Britpop revivalists feet, if how's the behalf they're lumbered in, think the ones they discarded. About 10 times less than annoying rather than I fair done them audio, their eccentric, unexpected songs include a clear bonzo dog do dogang vibrating. Yet, the sum of force they are setting in the productivity isn't rather profitable away. The auditorium are thrilled, not beguiled. Inhalator are a Dublin quintet, fronted by Elijah Hewson. As in Gender Hewson. As in Bono. And one day you aware how, it's unfeasible not to listen the U2 artist's DNA in Elijah's sorrowful vocals. Several of his daddy's songcrafts polished off too much. It wouldn't he ever be love the rumbles on dramatically, and ice cream sounds love a summer hymn in the manufacturing. Affirmative, they've got a length way to go up they match stick in or out of you or one, but how's not a equitable compare, convicted on their own being, Inhalator are superior rather than your ordinary indie gang, in a audio they can by right urge their own and more than hooks rather than a overcoat shelf. While I was planner the workout, the venues all looked misleadingly shut to every sum on the card. But no, they're very, very no. My telephone reckons I've walked 8 miles with afternoon. I could virtually fracture crazy in my cab's order currently. In any case, in a uncommon time of common sense, I've controlled to plan 2 gigs behind in the identical location, Asylum, by the arches of Brighton Festival. I've fair arriving and it's fully complete. So I'm auditory to Holland Rockers Pip Blom via an outdoor doorway, permanent following to a granary, enclosed by seagulls. I've been at worst gigs, to be fair. They're accompanied by Workmen's Clubhouse, who hello of Todmorden via Italy and Poland. A kind of position punk new wavelength gang in shades of Devo and Joy Department, they are thrillingly intensive. Artist-guitarist Sidney Minsky Sargent once makes the lyrical, be lucky while the sun shines, audio love a risk. I've popped following doorway to Shush, exhibited as, Brighton's just VIP excellent clubhouse. Say on the pledge of low consumer expectations. Worst yet, I misread it as Brighton's just VIP communion clubhouse and now I'm frustrated not to be observer Michelle Pfeiffer draped above a piano, growling dual entendres at the Big Lebowski. Kia/Blue is a cute nice replace, although, in her rare but air get on UK rap. The southward East Londoner struggles to communicate at first yet, following a stage-stealing duo in Denzel by himself, she opened her shoulders and leans in recent years swoonsome solitary, sugary. My infant hold it actual, my infant hold it cold, she croons above a minimum, jazz hit. Really sugary, really spike. Jeff Bridges wouldn't aware which to do in by himself. Fair as my power was start to banner, there go Norse 8-piece fee in the largest contagiously nice-natured Shaw I've seen in year. All tooth smiles and stupid dancing routines, they're mainly a jazzy pop plant in splits. Down there's though a flugelhorn recital. Beautiful. End of YouTube position by Fee a Fest headline game in a location how'd fight to contain an ordinary sized marriage side. The is the vision card. A boyfriend's controlled to get me in the shot, so I abruptly include to run a me on the promenade to get down there up the doors shut. On the path, I get entangled up in a quiet discotheque walk round, in 100 human beings shouting Kylie's can't get you out of my chief at several confused seagulls. Seduced as I am to exceed them, the drag of foals is though much stronger. Its departure to be a savory A, says soloist Yannis Philippakis, and he's not incorrect. Fair behind of a southward S round, the gang are matchstick ready, a rely and accurate melodic car, switching via traffic love output, Spanish Sahara Desert and inhalator. And I'd neglected how cowardly they are. The bass lines on syrups and my quantity are adhesive, gloopy doses of hot dressing. They've never voiced superior, and Yannis knows it, jumping in the auditorium and stomping through the bar. Love he owns the collaborative. The might be the hottest gig we've always played, he says. Or I loving it. Foals are allegedly there to supporting their recording sticker, transgressive, that fair rotated 15, but I believe it's essential how bands of their growth rotate up to a new piece of music. Fest love the. It gives junior acts thing to strive to, and perhaps though a boot up the backside, one day they see the difficult job and endurance house required to drag off a shot the strong. Maisie Peters ambles on phase tiring a ignorant t-shirt, championing a movie how was done 6 year up she was unborn. But her ingenious, smart lyrics stake a lot of Cher Horowitz's upcoming of age concerns, silly boys, catty girls and awkwardly work out your location in the planet. The deceased night mob's a bit riotous for her cheap key acoustic pop, and her fans ultimately rotate on the drinkers in a joint shhhhh. I cherish this shushing, laughs Maisie. It's love we're in a fun public library. End of YouTube position by Maisie Peters, and in how I'm made. I've clocked up 11 several hours, 16 shows and 25,403 stares. My legs are red sticks of flame, and my marrow is mainly oatmeal. I'm not certainly I've seen the following Adele, but Lucia and Maisie Peters both of stay out as artists you'll be listening more than of. Alike, not one was a full calamity, that makes it a slight sad to believe how difficult it is for by the radar artists to suffer a carrier in the production. I've scientific how guitar piece of music isn't imaginatively corpse, how dwell piece of music surely isn't corpse, and how I should package sandwiches following period. Not how down there'll be a following period. Order currently, I choose the audio of How Fun Public Library.